we go. Processed a little bit of wood that was here. And I came back up to this site because I knew there was wood that I could process that was hidden under the trees, because every morning I've been waking up to about ½ inch of frost on the ground, or you might call that snow. So here's what she's looking like. So I got the wood on the outside. It's not quite dry. So once I start the fire tonight, that'll help dry that out. I've got, of course, this whole bin is full, and then of course I have these enviro block type things, basically hardwood compressed. I usually throw one of those in, half of one of those, I should say, right before I go to bed, and that'll usually last, damping everything down, a couple hours. And then of course by that time you're asleep, hopefully, and diesel heater kicks on and everything's good. So yeah. And of course Lily's rocking her little rough stuff down jacket that she loves. You like that, Lily, huh? You don't? Yes, she does. She likes it. You're so cute. Yes, you are. And it does keep her warm. I really wish the boots would have fit, but they just didn't fit, and they would just fall right off. And for almost $100 for the boots, or actually more than that, that just wasn't worth keeping since they weren't going to work. So we'll try to come up with another company that's got some smaller ones that'll keep her toes warm, because we love our little girl. The fire looks a lot better with the window screen cleaned off, doesn't it? So we're trying something tonight. As you can see, I've turned the lower section into my bed, and that's because this heats up so much that up here is like a 90-degree furnace, and down here I can have these windows open, not actually open, but the drapes pulled, so that I have kind of the open window effect, and that regulates the heat for down here. And I know that because I accidentally fell asleep down here yesterday. So now I'm going to try it as a bed and see if that works with this. And the nice thing about that is I should be able to literally just pop my feet over, put more wood in, and go right back to bed. So hopefully this works well.
Good morning. So let's talk about how the wood stove worked last night. It worked great. It took about 5 hours for the temperature to build up in the coach all the way down to where I was, to where then that heat started suffocating me. Once that happened, I exposed all 3 of these windows, cracked this one open, and then opened the upper vent. Now when I opened the upper vent, that took this rush of cool air up over the top of me and up, and I slept literally with a sheet on. Stoked the fire probably 2 more times. So easy to stoke right here. And then oh man, I'm tired. And then after that, later fell asleep. The diesel heater's right here, so later when the diesel heater did kick on, it's designed to come under a certain temperature, and I heard that. I knew the fire had gone out completely, to the point where it really wasn't doing much anymore. So then I put the rest of my blanket on, closed this up, closed these up, and slept like a lamb the rest of the night.
So I like to do brats, stuff like that, same way you would do for breakfast. But I found that unless you've got a grill to really, or unless you want to boil them, they're kind of hard to cook. So like, on a regular pan, so I don't have a grill. So what I do is I cut them up to smaller sections and get them going, and then I can throw my eggs in there also, and I make sure that they're fully cooked and make myself a nice breakfast. Another thing I'm getting ready to do, I don't know if you notice this, but one of the things that really sucks is if you're camped and you're off on your angles, which I am today. I didn't know how long I was going to stay here. Everything, you know, jumps to one side and it really sucks. So I'm actually getting ready to remove this stove and replace it with a Camp Chef Ranger 2. And the reason I'm doing that is, and I've talked about this before, most of the manufacturers out there that make stoves make them for a high pressure system. And anything that has an ASME tank, like an RV, some of the combis and stuff like that, or even if you're building your own system, they use a low pressure system. And I think they use the low pressure system. It's a safety feature, like a DOT thing, for, you know, being in your vehicle at extended amounts of time. I think it's safer. So I kept it low pressure, and that stove, the Ranger, works both low pressure and high pressure, and there are very few that do that. And the other thing that's really cool, I will be able to have, well, get rid of 2 stoves, the inside and the outside, because that Blackstone grill, that 17-inch Blackstone grill, weighs 30 pounds and it takes up a lot of space. So I'll be getting rid of that, donating it, whatever, and getting rid of this one inside and replacing it with the Ranger. So the Ranger is a 2-burner, and again, it'll be able to go inside and outside with a quick connect, and it'll stay in here, so it'll free up all that space. You've seen me use it before out of my back storage area, which means some of my other things can go back into storage again. So that's going to be really nice to get that done. I'm always looking for more efficient ways to make things work, changing things as I'm living in them. I have a lot of time to think and so I come up with different ways to make things a little better. And you know, my mistakes of doing it the first time might help you if you're doing a build yourself, to do it, to have other options. I won't say to do it right, to have other options and see what will work for you. And that's kind of what this channel is about, trying to help you make decisions, and they're your decisions. I'm just throwing things that I've learned as I've been on the road out there to help with your build. Of all things I could have forgotten going winter camping with solar panels is an ice scraper. So I've got frozen panels and no way to collect sun. That was not a good choice. So I'm going to try to warm some water using the snow and pour it up there, but be very careful. I don't know how thick that is. I don't know if that's a good idea, putting warm water on a solar panel. Just going to keep it fairly warm, not hot. We'll see how it goes. So this is pretty cool. I had some hunters pull up. Apparently hunting season is tomorrow, and there's a trail that goes back here. So they said I'm probably gonna get some visitors this week. Usually a lot of hunters up here, and these guys are going in on horseback. Well, those guys weren't kidding. I woke up in the morning to 4 more sets of hunters all around me. So time to get out of Dodge. up and towards Brian's new digs. Pretty cool, ain't it?
See that big tree on the left? Well, I made a couple mistakes here. I did not check to see how steep that driveway was or how slick it was, and I was not in four-wheel drive. So what ended up happening is when I went into reverse, I lost complete control, steering, brakes, everything, and I missed with the Sunrader the back of that tree by 2 inches. This could have been a very different outcome. Well, walked up the trail to see what Brian was doing, and he wasn't home. So we headed out, and what do you know? We ran into him at the bottom of the trail. Talked to him a little bit, found out that he's got some major things that he's got to deal with that property, and so we're going to head up towards Wolf Creek, and we'll catch you at the intersection and talk a little bit more about it.
Well, we're gonna get out here and show you kind of where we're at. There's Lily girl. Woo! You know, it's bright right here. So right now we're at the intersection. You go that way, you go to Potoro. You go up this way, you go up over the pass over to 160, kind of up and around. About 10 miles up Wolf Creek, and yeah, so we're heading back to Durango to touch base with Patrick and try to get some things fixed on the Sunrader. And we figured, well, why not go the fun way? So we're just going to go up over the pass and take this route, and hopefully we make it okay. I don't know how well driven it is. Doesn't look like there's much been going up there. It's hunting season, so there's been a lot of trucks and cars around, there's been a lot of trucks around up here, so that's why I'm heading out. Went to visit Brian. Brian is dealing with a major debacle with his land. We'll get into that later, and I'll wait until after he has put it on his channel until I say anything. And I'm just really hoping for him. I'm hoping for you, bud, that it all works out. And you know, like I said, if you had needed help, I was here for you. But you decided, and I understand you got a lot going on, a lot on your mind, and you got a lot to move and everything, and you probably just want that time to yourself with Sierra. So I totally get it. But yeah, so we're gonna head up here. Oh yeah, this road is pretty crazy up here. It is a little slushy, it is muddy, and in some places the snow is pretty darn deep. Just had to pass a quad on a really narrow road. That was interesting, but here it is. Top of this pass, you can see they got a little bit of snow up here. Okay, this should be fun. Up and over the tree. And there's another one that's down. Good thing we also have a chainsaw with us. And here's another one. Some really big ones up here. That would be a bummer. Well, I was getting ready just to take off and turn around, but we should probably talk about this because this is going to happen to you. So I was heading up this trail, going to go over this pass, and I got to a point where the road, as you can see here, nobody's been on it. Now that still goes up quite a ways. It goes up. I was over there a couple weeks ago, so I know what it looks like. And being that nobody's been up there means it's not being traveled, and it's probably not going to be a safe bet for me to go up there. So it's one of those things where I'm having to make a decision, turn around and head back the way I came. So we're going to have to do that. There's some pretty deep stuff. There was a definitely big tree in the way. I think I may actually get out and cut that one and move it for other people, because if you slowed down there, you would definitely be stuck. You have to kind of hit it hard, and I'd hate for somebody to damage their vehicle. So I think we're going to take care of that one when we're there. But yeah, it's just sometimes you got to make those decisions, and that's a decision I'm going to make on this one. Well, this is the one I was talking about. You can see that was a pretty good hit here I had to make to get up over this. It's a pretty good chunk of log right here too. So I'm considering going ahead and cutting this right here and right here to clear that. Had to hit that pretty darn hard, and others are going to have to too. So I think we're going to clear it. All right. Done deal. Well, here we are back where we started to head up to the pass. And as I was coming down, I was thinking about it, and I thought, well, what would have made the difference if I would have if I'd have gone up there? I have food, I have heat, I literally could. I have water. I could have stayed up there for a week, even if I did get trapped. The fact that there was no other cars on that road, the fact that I'd been on that road before, and I know that just at that point is when it really started snowing, so the snow was going to get even deeper than it was. It was about 8 inches where I turned around. So I was thinking about it. Two things would have made it, well, one or the other things would have made a difference. One is if I was with somebody else. You know, there's always better in numbers, right? The other thing is, and it's the one thing I don't have in my recovery gear, I do have a winch, is chains. If I would have had chains, I would have gone ahead and gone through the rest of that pass. And the reason I don't have them, you know me, I'm weight conscious. I hate something that heavy. We'll see. That may change. I may have to get changed if I want to continue to hit areas like this. But yeah, right now we're gonna head back. We got a long haul now to go back around because of that detour. But better safe than sorry sometimes. And hey, it's an adventure, right? And that's what makes it an adventure. All the fun stuff that happens. What do you think, Lily? Huh? What do you think? Adventure? Yeah? Okay.